Hi, Crumblers. Welcome back to the Crumbl Mumbl podcast. So excited to have you here. And today we have a super exciting guest. I'm so excited she's with us. We have Chelsea Currier. She is known around HQ as the Cookie Queen because she is the Vice President of Research and Development, which means she's the one who comes up with all of the cookies. All of the recipes, all of the development, everything comes from her. So we are going to dig into it today. We're going to dive in, talk about everything cookie development, everything that you guys have ever wanted to know about our cookies. All right. Thanks for being here, Chelsea.
Thank you so much, Anna. Anna's like my right-hand woman when it comes to some of our partnered cookies. So I'm so excited to sit here and talk to you about all things cookies.
All things cookies.
All the tea.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The
That's
tea.
what we're here for.
That's what everybody wants to know.
Yes. So tell us like a little bit about how you got to Crumbl, right? What you were doing before Crumbl, how you got here, why you came to Crumbl, all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I've been at Crumbl now. I just hit my 2 years. I actually found the job in the middle of the pandemic when a lot of restaurants and bakeries and different things were closing. So it was really difficult to get any kind of sense of jobs that were available.
Yes.
And it wasn't the best time in the world to be looking for a job. And, Utah was exploding with all these incredible startups and stuff. And I was just like, why isn't there something out there for me that fits me just right? And so I had actually been at another company before this where I was making and developing cookies there. And I kind of learned my chops with getting some knowledge with food science. So I'm not a food scientist. However, I do have some of that knowledge from that experience. And I learned a lot, especially when it comes to cookies. So I saw the job posting on LinkedIn.
Heck yeah, LinkedIn.
Hey, LinkedIn. So yeah, that's how I came to Crumbl. But before that, I was a chef for a really long time and worked in restaurants, worked for ice cream companies. And I was educated in Southern California at the Le Cordon Bleu when it was still there.
Amazing.
It's not there anymore, I don't think. And so yeah, that's kind of my history. I love food. I'm obsessed with food, and cookies are my number one passion for sure.
Hey, that's why you're the woman for the job. That's why we have you here, for all of those reasons.
I love cookies.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into it. Okay, last week was breakfast week.
Yes.
Right? We had a very divisive cookie.
Sure did.
We're just gonna get right into it.
Okay.
The everything bagel cookie.
Yeah, yeah. And let's also talk about the fact that that's not even the name. It's Almost Everything Bagel.
Almost Everything
And that
bagel.
changed. Like, this cookie had been tested. We had put it out. We tested it in our testing program, which we have 50 testing stores across the nation that test these cookies in all different climates and different situations. But we tested it 7 times with different names, different like toppings and dressings, and we stuffed it once and we topped it with frost. I mean, sweet, savory. We had garlic in it. We actually had a test store do a version where there was garlic and onion in it. And so it was a cookie that we wanted to get right. And the reason that we kept testing it and we kept trying and we kept asking customers if they wanted it and kept talking to bakers about it was because ultimately it's a savory offering.
Yeah, and it's our first.
And it's
really,
our first,
right? Our
yeah.
first ever savory. Yeah.
So we really wanted to get it right the first time. And so we knew it was going to be divisive.
Yes, we prepped for it.
We knew that this wasn't going to be like the seller of the week. Did I wish that it was the seller of the week? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because what is the coolest thing about that cookie is that it is freaking delicious. And I stand by it, that it is so good. There are very picky people in this office that do not like adventurous flavors, that won't eat avocado on top of a piece of toast, but they love the everything bagel.
The almost everything bagel.
Almost everything bagel.
Love it.
Yeah, so people that try it genuinely are so surprised by how delicious it is.
Yes.
We reduced sugar. It doesn't have the garlic and onion in it, so we kind of made it a little safer there. But sesame seeds are super savory, so it still has that
little kick to it, right?
That umami, I guess, is a way to put it. There's
Okay,
like
yeah.
a roundness, a savory flavor that we're used to. So I don't know. I think it's delightful.
Yeah, I think it's a great cookie, delicious cookie, and such a unique experience.
Yeah.
And people might not know, we talked briefly with Jason on his episode about how they A/B tested to come up with the first recipe, right? And I don't think people know that we still do that.
Oh yeah.
And so I remember trying all the different versions, right? Because we test all of the cookies on people here at HQ, and so I remember, you know, version 2, version 5, and it was like, oh, this is more garlic, this has less garlic, right? All of the variations, and this one, as you said, I think you guys perfected it.
Yeah, it's 6 months in the making. They released a TikTok with myself and my team, my R&D team that helps me create the flavors. That was the very first. That was literally, we made it that day. And that was the first time ever that we had tried it. And I was really sticking to the garlic and onion, and I really tried to push it. I'm kind of glad that I didn't. I feel like that would have been even more divisive. But I mean, it was a wild experience for us too. But it's actually not even an unusual flavor anymore in the food space for people who are attracted to interesting flavors. Ultimately, it's really not that weird. I mean,
flavor,
there's ice creams out there. There's some stuff out there that's everything already. So we were kind of thinking that this was just dipping our toe in the water, but our customers they have some opinions.
Yes, which we love.
I love it. I actually I have been overjoyed because I've seen so much positive reaction to it. Like people saying that it's their top 5, that it's their favorite cookie they've ever had.
Awesome, yeah.
And that's all. I just needed to see one person say that.
You were good.
And then I was fine.
And then you're like, yes, I knew it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you trusted it.
For sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely saw, you know, all over socials, right? Some people were obsessed with it. Other people were throwing it away, right? Like, it was all over the place. But I think that's
somebody told me that I needed to go straight to jail.
Oh?
Whoever created the Everything Bagel needs to go straight to jail.
You should have commented and be like, hi. It was me. Hello,
it's me.
Oh, it's so good.
It was really funny. I was laughing. I was like,
and I think
I hear you. I understand where you're coming from.
Totally. And I think that's something very unique to Crumbl, where we've taken all of these flavor profiles and turned them into a cookie.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
Desserts of all kinds to start with, right? Candies, cakes, pies, everything.
Right.
And I think it's very cool now that Crumbl's also becoming a vehicle for trying all these other foods.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We've really used this format that we've created of inspiration to come up with other things. I mean, it's like there are so many desserts in the world that we just haven't even gotten to yet that are so exciting. Different flavors, different fruits, different cakes. I mean, it's going to be awesome what comes out in the next couple of years, you know? Oh, yeah. And I think this was a great foray into interesting, cool flavors.
Totally, yeah. And even just to be able to say that you're a person who once ate an Almost Everything Bagel cookie. Yeah. Even if you hated it. Like, to just say,
I tried it.
I ate it. You know, I tried it. Yeah, totally. So another hot take.
Yeah.
Right? We're just getting into it.
Okay, let's go.
Again, last week, we had a TikTok go viral.
Oh, gosh.
Where we were seen using Betty Crocker cake mix in our cookies.
Yep.
As the person who comes up with the recipes, with the cookies, put that into the recipe.
Sure.
Can you speak to that, about why we use that, what the purpose is, and, you know, just the logic behind that, right?
Right. So much of our recipes come from inspiration, and you're trying to target flavor and experience and texture in a way that really gives the full like, we want people to taste our cookies, to bite into our cookies, to eat our cookies, and really get in tune with whatever the inspiration was. The cake mix is in the French toast cookie. It does not make up the bulk of the recipe.
Yeah.
I would never, my like culinary school chefs, instructors would come back and find me and tell me, what are you doing?
They would haunt you.
It would haunt me.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's other ways to go about getting those same flavors. There's flavorings, there's all sorts of stuff. But cake mix has like a specialness to it. There's like the amalgamation of like the leaveners that are in there and the flavorings that are in there and the texture that it provides. And it's really just a flavor agent. It's just an ingredient. Yeah. We still have all of our flour in there, all of our high quality butter, all of our high quality eggs. I mean, this is not the bulk.
It's not just
of
the
our
cake
recipe.
Mix
Absolutely,
that is the cookie. Yeah,
absolutely not. I'd be horrified if that was the case. And that kind of leads into the fact that this feedback I take pretty seriously.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if that's something that's off-putting to customers, wow, okay, like maybe it's a blind spot in my development that I'm like, oh, I thought that it's a pretty common thing to do, to add a little cake mix to recipes. I mean, there's gelatin in recipe, you know, like Jell-O mix in recipes.
Yep.
There's all sorts of interesting ingredients that have ingredients within them that give an interesting texture and flavor to our cookies. It's a way to like bringing something different. And also another thing when it comes to the specifically to the Betty Crocker, which is that store probably couldn't get it from their food purveyor, so they had to go buy it,
like within the single boxes.
Correct. So we actually get that in a bulk capacity, like any restaurant would.
Yes.
And they just probably ran out.
Yeah, and just had to pop over to the store.
They had to pop over to the
grab
store.
Some.
So we're listening to customers about how that appears to them, and that we take it extremely seriously. I would never in a million billion years just blow that off. It's not. I hear the people out there that's off-putting, and we're going to look at that recipe again because of it. I mean, that's
just how it is.
That's just how it is. That's how we work.
Yeah, and I think it is very fair for people, you know, when they come to Crumbl, they are expecting, right?
Yeah.
High-end gourmet cookie.
Right.
And it's, when that's all they see, they
if
just
that's
assume,
an ingredient
right?
you see and you think we're
that's
just
all you're gonna think.
Putting that into, you know, a cookie mold or something, that's what it is. That's not what's happening.
Yeah.
It's for sure there for texture, flavor, a little bit of color, you know?
You know, and it's similar, you know, for example, when we have like our potato chip, chocolate chip cookie, right? We're not making the potato chips, right?
You know, the biggest thing here is to remember that we make all of our cookies from scratch, and that if you're seeing like a wild, weird ingredient, that's what makes Crumbl really special. Is those special ingredients that give those textures and flavors. So.
Exactly. Thank you for giving insight on that, because I know that if I were on the outside of Crumbl and I walked into the store, I'd be like, what are they doing?
What's going on?
Yeah, so hopefully that is helpful information considering the Betty Crocker mix scandal. Right?
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's just part of the recipe.
Just part of the recipe.
But speaking to that, I really wanted to talk about an aspect of Crumbl that I have found so fascinating since I started here. And it is the fact that how seriously Crumbl takes feedback on social media.
Oh yeah.
So I remember one day, so I'm on the PR team, right? I work here at Crumbl on the PR team, and a lot of what the PR team does is the engagement on social media, right? And one day I was asked to help with this weekly report that your team and our team kind of tag team on that I wasn't aware of, where you literally take every comment made about every cookie flavor. And you tally them up and you take that into consideration as you redevelop that recipe if needed. So, for example, if, 30 comments on our cornbread cookie said this cookie's too dry, every one of those comments is taken into consideration, tallied up, and then you have a whole meeting about it where you go, okay, guys, 30 people said this cookie was too dry. Do we need to revisit the dryness?
Right. Yeah.
Crazy.
It is the base of our cookie making right now. We take extremely seriously what people feel about the cookies, their flavor, their presentation, their texture, the names, everything, the brands that we partner with, everything. We take it all into consideration, and that is a weekly report that we do, and it means that the cookie that you will receive will often get a little tweak. Will often get, and some of it is almost you wouldn't even notice. Yeah. Because it's just making the cookie a little softer, a little more structurally sound. If somebody says that it falls apart when they eat it, though with a constantly rotational menu to keep on top of these like operational or flavor profiles it's the whole crux of our cookie business right now. In my field, at least in my department, at least, where we're really wanting to present the best version of those cookies every chance that we can get.
Yes.
So totally. So looking at all of that, we have fully changed cookies from what they were to where they are now, and the data is there that these changes and these revamps really work. We are selling more of those cookies that people complain about. I mean, it's funny that you use cornbread as an example because we did improve cornbread.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Because it it did receive feedback that it was a little dry.
Oh, well, I was pulling both of those things out at random. Wow.
But yeah, that was a cookie that we
Okay.
did improve. We have recently, one of our most popular cookies is the any of our cheesecake cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a ton of feedback that people didn't understand why we were serving them warm. And this is an old school flavor. I mean, it came before I was even around.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of updates and stuff since I've started. But we sort of looked at ourselves, Sawyer Hemsley and myself. We really, Sawyer Hemsley is really like where a lot of the ideas
You guys
come
work
from.
together
We work
quite
together.
a bit.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was like, I think they're right. Because you don't get cheesecake warm.
Yeah.
So that was a big change. We have quite a few cheesecake flavors. So that also affects the way we build the calendar. So, the weeks of cookies, what does that look like? If you have too many chilled cookies, that's really operationally difficult for our stores. So we have to think about, now we changed an entire category of flavors to a different serving temperature. So what does that
entail?
what does that mean for the
Yeah.
rest of the week and the rest of the year and how we're building out those weeks? So
Totally.
yeah, and that all came from just customer feedback.
Which, again, I think is so cool that Crumbl does that it genuinely takes it so seriously.
Yeah.
I know that we've been a little bit teased at on socials, right, for the whole what location is this?
Sure.
Type of responses and comments.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that genuinely is because we really truly take all of that
Yeah.
feedback and we implement it.
Yeah.
It's not just for show. We
Right.
actually listen and adapt accordingly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because our intention is never to get anyone in trouble.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the perception. It's actually to reach out to those stores and give them support if they need it.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
that's some of like, what store is this? It really is about helping our bakers make the best cookies in the world. They already do. And there's just some support things. A lot of that comes from being busy. We're incredibly busy business, lines out the door, all that kind of stuff. But also, if you didn't enjoy your cookie experience because it didn't taste delicious to you, we want to rule out, is it the recipe? Was it the very original, did it straight out of the test kitchen? Was it not good?
Yeah.
Or did something happen along the way
Yeah.
that made that not what we intended it to be?
Yeah.
Either way, we want to fix it. We want to either help our baker or we want to help the customer.
Yeah.
So,
Or the recipe
Yeah.
in and of itself.
yeah. But I do think it's funny that we have that reputation.
I know, right?
What store is this?
What store is this? Yeah. But that's, that's the logic behind
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
The method behind the madness.
Yes.
Is that how people say it?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
That's the expression.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Chelsea, for joining
Thanks.
us. Last burning question.
Yeah.
This is the hardest question that I've asked anyone on this podcast. What's your favorite Crumbl cookie flavor?
Banana cream pie.
Easy.
Not hard for me at all.
Not hard. And we actually have that this week with the Minions lineup.
We sure do.
So it's your week.
It's my week.
This is your week.
I've been waiting.
Favorite flavor is here.
You and I have been waiting for this week
yes,
for
we
6
have.
months.
Yes.
Anna and I worked on Minions Week, so I can't wait to hear what everybody thinks about it. It's gonna be really
it's
cool.
a really great lineup. We're both really excited about it.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you again, Chelsea, for joining
Thank
us.
you. Thank you so much to
And
everyone.
we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.